Hello and welcome. You're tuned to The League Up, your weekly thoroughbred preview show, Trackside's best hour of television. And it's the usual suspects in studio, Paul Mawadi, Stephen Hunt, to preview this week's racing from Te Rapa and Trentham. Morning, Paul. You've been jetting around the country this morning already.
Yep, got back this morning, rushed back for this.
Yeah, I'd expect nothing less.
I wouldn't miss the League Up.
No, you couldn't do that. Where have you been?
Just back from Auckland. Carried Brian Fox's golf bag for a hole.
Oh, yeah.
Had a little chat with him. Yeah, we should have something coming out.
We'll have a bit of content with Ryan.
A wee bit soon, yeah. Very nice. Very nice guy.
Yeah. No. Okay, well, that's going to be interesting to see.
And
what was it?
Can hit a golf ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can spank a golf ball. One man who might not hit it quite as far. Morning, Steve. How are you?
Definitely not. Yeah, good morning, Thaddeus.
Yeah, and I suppose we have to talk about Trentham last week.
Yeah, look, I don't want to harp on it too much. Enough's been spoken during the week. I'll look at the race as a whole, the TAB Classic. I think the key fact is that there was no doubt those 14 horses that had the false start soaked up a lot of energy, jumping out of the machine and then building speed to roughly around the 300-400 metre mark. A lot of them ran. Was a disadvantage. And that was shown in the result. First, second and fourth were the three horses that were in barriers 15, 16, 17, which didn't open. And then you add the race shape on top of that. They went out fairly hard to the 600, just under 8 lengths above open class to the 600. So they've gone along at a very good clip. Yeah, they buttoned it off midsection, but overall a very good clip to the 600. Look, I think you've got to give benefit of the doubt to Vinnie Colgan that he assessed it, he had a plan, whether it was the original plan or he rethought it for that 10 minutes leading into the race when it was take 2. But to sit outside the lead, he just urged enough pressure to Jonathan Parks above the mare, who was leading at the time, just to make sure it was a true race. And for those horses that initially jumped out of the machine in take 1 were affected greatly. And look, I've got no doubt Desert Lightning's a Group 1 horse. I don't think it was a fluke. And we may see the next 2 to 3 months backing up that performance in Desert Lightning. The overall speed rating was minus 1.2 versus Group 1 standard, so no real knock. But yeah, look, overall it was a bit of a farce, but we'll move on. Yeah,
if Vinny did do that, fair play to him. That's
Absolutely.
A great move.
I don't think a lot of people mapped him to be outside leader. I think he obviously had drawn a sticky gate and he was going to show some intent, maybe be in the first 6 to 8 with that, I don't know, 2nd or 3 wide train, yeah, look, he got it bang on. I think you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was a well-worked plan.
Okay.
Super ride.
Yeah, good on Vinny, well done. Let's head north to Hamilton. Say good morning to Brendan Popplewell. How about them 49ers, BP?
Yes, very good morning. And they are the Super Bowl favourites. So they're not now $3.60 of the 49ers, and the shirt I'm wearing, of course, McCaffrey is an absolute beast, is CMC, who is a touchdown freak. But enough about that. The weekend ahead, there's a lot to take in here, isn't there, around this weekend? 3 race meetings. First of all, the jockeys are well spread. We've got ourselves a busy program of 10 races on a Friday afternoon into the early evening. So there's a lot of racing on. There's a lot to take on board. So, yeah, I can't wait for it, to be honest, team.
No, exactly. We don't get the old 3-meeting Saturdays too often. Chucking a little bit of inclement weather, which Steve will touch on shortly around the capital. It's going to be all on for young and old, that's for sure. Before we get to that, though, we want to have a little look at a segment we call How Bizarre and what you might have missed over the last 7 days.
It's the weird world.
There'll be plenty of winners to be found out of today.
Yeah, there will be, Aiden, and hopefully you can find one in the next.
Aiden, that's new.
Oh, sorry, Bevan.
Let's have a look.
Right, well, there's the cat. There's the cat. What's it on this time? It was on Lady LaSalle last time. Look at it. They're pacing with confidence, isn't it? Justy's right with those rats down there. Boy, oh boy, it's looking good.
Now, why we haven't got Gary Clark yet. The first down at the Gardens. You're kidding me. All right, so this is it.
So, Andy McCook, afternoon, Andy.
All right, Andy's just not quite with us yet.
Fluff on the run. Close and behind is Muddy Baxter, but it's all the 7. It cut across and it got the job done in the first. So, but it's all neon lights. Put the binos down. 3 wins easy.
Okay. Green light through to the control tower. We're ready to go. First out of the Gardens. And they're off. It's all about Baby Blossom in the first. 6, 3, 8 and 4 across the line.
Okay, well, that's the running of the Gardens. Let's hope there's no more of that in terms of no commentator.
The things we find on a Tuesday afternoon for you on Trackside 1, if we see them, we'll bring them to you. You don't worry about that. We find them on track, we'll bring them to you. And there you go. Bit of ginger for us today.
Absolute feline connoisseur is Aaron White. BP, you've got a future here. What? You've got a nice little bit of twang on the end. Put the binos down. You might have missed a trick here with being just a presenter.
I don't know. I said, hey, look, I love to give it a crack around home, and I'm certainly always calling NBA shots and NFL calls and watching the kids play PlayStation and commentating through that. But that's about it. That's about my level, to be honest with you. Maybe we could do a dual call somewhere. Maybe there's a commentator's day. We'll jump in there and do a dual call, and I'll come and do the last 50 metres or something.
Yeah, Matt Cross is always could be keen on that. That could be a nice little duo. Okay, BP, we'll come. Oh, sorry, Paulie.
Oh, just if you want your ginger fix, there's only one show on Trackside.
Oh, you couldn't let that one slip. I'm glad you got that.
Paul, you're a funny man.
Okay, back to you, Pops. What's your maidener of the week for us this week?
I'm going to go to Hawke's Bay. I do like this horse in Dangerous Liaison. I think the race and the winner was very nice. This horse bounced out of a good race, of course, that being out of New Plymouth, where it was beaten by stablemate Wind of Change. Wind of Change is a nice horse who does tackle a very good field on Saturday coming up at Te Rapa, and that being in race number 2. This horse ran second. Boy, I think we can follow second, third and fourth with a heck of a lot of confidence, to be honest with you. I think these are horses that we can all follow. I think the horse that's won the race can go on with the job. Nafiti's run second, big run. There was money floating around for it. And La Bella Grande, speaking of Aaron White, I actually think he's got a share in that horse in the third runner. So I think there's enough around those first 3 across the line to say that can be a nice maiden race to identify.
Yeah, it was a good second on debut, Dangerous Liaisons, and then came out and did that, Steve.
Yeah, rated 2 lengths stronger than the Score Valley Maiden 14, which was later in the program. I thought the third horse was very good considering the race shape. They've gone fairly hard to the 600. La Bella Grande finally got to the lead after about 700 metres of running when it was 3 wide facing the breeze. Volpress aboard, found the rail at roughly 600 to go and still had the audacity to hold on to that lead until the last 100. So I think that's got a win in the turn in short time. And Nafiti, who is Oaks nominated by Charm Spirit, so there's a little bit of a query around getting 2-4 later in its prep, but you've got to nominate these fillies this time of the year. And on the Oaks, that market opened during the week, Thaddeus.
Oh, very good. Okay. Let's get to this weekend. We're going to start at Te Rapa. 3 races we want to preview, Steve, but run us through likely track conditions and weather, please.
There should be a ripper at Te Rapa tomorrow. You see there, the rail's back in, or back out 3 metres. It's currently a good 4. They may have to irrigate it tonight just to hold around that good 4/soft 5 tomorrow morning. The last meeting at Te Rapa was earlier this month on the 2nd December. I think it was Eagle Tech Day, and the rail was true. So it's just gone out 3 metres with a little bit of wear and tear in that first 2 to 3 metres in it.
How about that drone footage of the Tron? Fantastic. What do you think, Paulie? That's good quality, wasn't it, from the boys?
City of the future.
City of the future. Very good. Rightio, first race we want to have a look at is race number 6 on the card, gentlemen. It's the Group 2 Kaiu Stakes, Steve, for the fillies and mares.
Yeah, race 6. Look, Pearl of Alsace, Campanessa 270 each of 2 when betting commenced on Wednesday. Look, there was a real strong push around Pearl of Alsace for the first 2 or 3 hours on Wednesday. It's been fairly static in the last 24 hours, but on the back of that, we've firmed Pearl of Alsace from 270 into 240, holds 3 times more money than Campanessa. Valari at $7, Polygon at $9, Zalia at $10, Pride of Aspen, the CD rater at $16, best of the rest is Kaiu Stakes at $21. So early lead is round number 2 of Pearl Alsace back from Aussie 270 into 240, Thaddeus.
Yeah, okay, BP, in these weight for age fillies and mares races, we tend to look at the top of the handicap, and hard to get past Pearl of Alsace with this hit and run mission in the matriarch, and certainly didn't disgrace herself.
Yeah, look, it's really hard to get past, as you said, those 2 at the top of the book. First of all, Pearl of Alsace, a runner who, look, was ready to have a shot at a race like this. I thought it was great planning. It was a great way to be able to find the right race for her off the back of her Livermore performance, where she picked up that all-important Group 1 placing when finishing 3rd behind Ladies Man and Platinum Invador. And she stuck to her gun, she stuck to her task, she's fought on gamely to run into 4th position, and she's run a good, honest race over the 2,000 metres. The key things for her into tomorrow's race is to keep her sharp. They've got blinkers on her for this assignment over 1,600 metres with her coming back in distance. She's got herself a barrier draw. She's been very good this season. Look, we've been with her since the start of this season with Pearl of Alsace, and this was a day where she did range up and it looked like she was going to win by 5 and has just won. But of course she was in that right spot to then bounce out of this to then go on and compete in the Group 1. There's a lot to like about her chances in this race tomorrow. I think she's going to get every opportunity. And to be honest with you, her biggest danger seriously does look to be the one in Campionessa, who's the winner of an Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders. Group 1 place at this venue, of course, in a Herbie Dyke. Twice Group 1 place last season. There's a Rich Hill Mile winner as well, over 1,600 metres Campionessa at Te Rapa. So there's a lot of good factors in the camp of the one as well.
Yeah, before we have a look at that Thoroughbred Breeders win of Campionessa, Pearl of Alsace, Paulie, I think the blinkers will probably help from looking at that replay at Te Rapa.
Yeah, and I thought there was a mighty run in the Matriarch as well. She was placed in the Livermore, the Group 1 Livermore, prior to that. Look, she loves the mile more than Faith Kipyegon. So this is just ideal for her. Possibly, she'd like a wee bit of sting out of the ground. But I don't think her good 4 will pose any issues for her. So I can understand why the money's come on early. Yeah, the punters have decided that she should be favourite.
Yeah.
And I can understand why. I'm really keen on her.
Yeah. Should she be favourite, Steve? Because this replay of Campionessa in the Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders, well, probably a little bit, not a surprise because we know the quality of this mare, but caught a few off guard.
Yeah, she was third up. Her first 2 runs in were questionable, but you can get that with mares this time of the year. I think she's a real sense of timing for her. I know she won last start and you missed the $16, $17, $18 SP that time, but I still feel she's on the upward trajectory, and this is not a PB in terms of this campaign around Campionessa. You look at the form, Farrah Leone's run second. She's gone on to place in a Group 1. Obviously last week you got Molt Time, also a few horses there that have finished back in the field. That have gone on to do well in lower grade races as well. So the form around it has really stacked up, in particular last Saturday at Trentham in the Group 1 TAB Classic. Yeah, look, I just feel there is a sense of timing around her, and she's able to continue to lift those performance ratings to what she found in the autumn last year when she was just so consistent. And I originally had her favourite. There was a bit of a disparity between us here and Petone who would start fave, so we made the punters decide in 270 each of 2, and they've definitely done that in the early betting. But I wouldn't be surprised if Campionessa, there's a real strong push for her. She's got the algos around OB and Tiakau, and yeah, I personally wouldn't be surprised if she really challenged that top line come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we've got the 2 top quality weight for age performance BP, but very interesting runners here in Volare and Polygon, those crochetti colours. Dan Narkla and the team got the job done, Volare, and very progressive.
Look, she is, and this is a step up again, isn't it, to what she tackles on the weekend. But what's in her favour? A, she's in form, mare in form with a good draw and a good jockey. That gives her her opportunity here, it really does. So you'd imagine that she should jump and find herself in a reasonable position from her barrier draw of 1, and if she holds a good spot, well, I think she's a must for trifectas and first 4s. The top 2 horses bring that form reference of being involved in Group 1 races, you know, black type races, those type of weight for age features, the 1 and the 2, and that's why I'm meaning it's such a step up from what she's done there at rating 75 level, where she has been good and she has been progressing well, that it is time to roll the dice and have a shot at a race like this. But personally, I'd like to just see her run in a race like this, and I think she can run a race for top 3, top 4 punters, but I just can't get away from these 2 at the top of the book. I think there are some nice chances in here like Zayla and Hio, Sassbomb and those type of horses, and if they can step up and match those top 2 runners, well, they're horses that are going to really progress into the season coming ahead into the summer, and so that they can tackle some proper races. But that's the yardstick for them, and that's an opportunity to find out where they do sit against these 2 horses at the top of the book, who really are genuine Group 1 horses.
Where do you place Volare, Paul? Man, I'll end Steve in a minute, but Paul, where do you slot Volare in? Because third favourite, and there's enough money for it, I would suggest.
Yeah, well, that was a super win. And Warren Kennedy just gave her another peach of a ride. look, it's hard to look away from the top two at the top. Having said that, I do give Polygon a wee bit of a chance. I thought that was a super... Look, she got back from a wide draw at Pookie last time out, and she recorded some very, very good sectionals once she entered the straight. So even though the weight for age conditions sort of work against her here slightly, I think at the price, I'm happy to have a little go on Polygon.
Okay. Steve, talk about Valare from a numbers perspective for us. Where does she slot in here?
Yeah, look, with that 75 win, she probably needs to improve a couple of lengths when you adjust the weight scale, 55 up to weight for age for the fillies and mares, now going up to 57 kilograms. So she needs to improve. The interesting here, and I'll come back to BP, is the map and the lack of tempo. Valare, like BP's already mentioned, from barrier 1, Warren Kennedy, I don't think he'll want to take away that advantage from drawing the ace and look to show some intent, and possibly could be the default leader. The interesting run I thought that could ignite a little bit of heat in the first furlong or two is Madame Le Fay with Palmer aboard. We've seen at times this horse in a race that lacks speed, they show some intent and they could lead here. But outside those two, it does lack speed and it could become quite tactical, which could be a negative around Kaiu Stakes and also Polygon, which are both low percentage plays in terms of the map.
Yeah, and Zayla as well, probably as well. Even Stephen, I mean, as a horse who's naturally got back as well, it's got a lower draw, it has that horse. So what does Opie do then from barrier number 7? From a gate like that with the potential of lack of tempo, do you see the horse pushing forward and getting to a position of outside leader? Does that look to be a spot that could be for her as well?
Oh, look, Opie's so good. He might just decide how she jumps. I don't know. My gut tells me they might be a little bit neutral and possibly get some cover midfield. But with Opie on board, he won't muck around. If it's really lacking tempo to the 600, we may see him go early because naturally I think his biggest danger is Pearl of Alsace. Sam's got so many options from that draw and is the likely in front of Campanessa if they like to decide to go in that neutral position. So... look, Opie will have it covered. I think it's depending on how the horse jumps, but I see it possibly sitting midfield and then he'll just blend into the race dependent of tempo.
Yeah, final thoughts, Paul, here is selections, Alsace or Campanessa or Alsace?
I'm going with Pearl of Alsace. Look, you hardly ever say, what was Opie doing there? So obviously Campanessa the main danger. I just like the fact that Pearl of Alsace has got that 2-draw, so Sam Weatherly can decide exactly where he wants to sit.
BP, final thoughts here, selections for the Kaiu Zuzu?
330, fixed Quinella is potentially what all I'll say here. Will you boost it? Will you boost the Quinella?
Nudge,
hey, look, we all got stung last week when you boosted it, so why not? We'll go again. If Express Yourself and Seamus couldn't run the Quinella last week and you boosted it, you got the punters there, so maybe you could try and give us a little treat around the Campanessa Pearl of Alsace Quinella. I find it hard to split both of them. Look, if you do think there's money going to come for Campanessa, do you back Campanessa now at the $2.70? Hope that it does shorten up and the Opie Boston factor comes in and Pearl of Alsace gets to 250, 260, 270, and then you have something on that horse as well. So there's a number of ways of playing the race, but I thought the safest option potentially was just going that fixed Quinella at 330.
I got a lot of faith in you. I'll stick with you, kid, that's the bottom line.
Lano Sullivan Award time, BP. Who have you found for us this week to receive the prestigious LAO Award?
Well, there was a notable mention, I guess, first of all, and that was the rider Vincent Colgan, as you mentioned, of course, in the TAB Classic with what we saw there with Desert Lightning. But I'm going to go with this ride because it was hot in the city, and it was a ride by Lily Sutherland because she was riding the Dulux down the straight here with Candle, and it was 3 back the fence and really was scraping that paint, and it all unfolded for Lily. If there's a horse at the back of the field, last on the inside, and then was able to get that charmed run, and there was half a run there, but it was enough for Candle to win the race. And also, I think it's key to point out that it was the first win for Leah Zeidenboss too, of course, co-training out with Guy Larry, so it meant a lot to Leah. And also, I think the ride was bang on from Lily Sutherland, a jockey who's in good form at the moment.
Well, I know I had it coming.
I know I can't be free.
Doing hard time, Paul. Who was doing hard time in the last 7 days?
Oh, plenty of punters and plenty of connections. We've had Watergate, we've had Brittany Gate, and now we've had Subskate.
Subskate, Gate.
It was very unfortunate what unfolded with the running of the TAB Classic down at Trentham on Saturday. Enough said.
Yeah.
But it was, if you had backed any one of those runners that ran 300-400 metres initially, you were, hard done by. You were doing hard time.
You were, but there was plenty out there that took the cash out offer. And that 10 minutes, that period from where we see the footage now to when they officially took take two. So there was punters out there that took advantage of the cash out and reinvested on those three runners you see drawn 15, 16 and 17. So
you're saying you guys were doing hard time as well?
No, we would not claim that, Paul. We would not claim that.
All right.
But at least you have the cash out option.
Hey, what I will say as well, Malt Time's run was massive, wasn't it? I mean, we speak a lot about the three horses that were out there in the barriers. Well, the one horse that wasn't was Malt Time, and that's run an enormous race, is it not?
Incredible.
Yeah,
100%.
She's been one of the most improved mares or horses this season, and gee, it's hard to make a case that she doesn't deserve a piece of a Group 1 victory in the short term, because she was a bridesmaid, or very unlucky at the Bay as well with track conditions, etc. And you see last Saturday, so look, I may be looking long term. Tiaraha Breeders, 1600 metres might be her wheelhouse, but she's got some good races between now and then.
No doubt. Okay, guys, let's move it on. Race number 8 on the card is the Group 3 Waikato Cup over the 1.5 mile, 2,400 metres. Stephen, run us through this market.
There's been a bit of a move around number 4, Dionysus, who was very unlucky in this race 12 months ago, which we'll touch on the next 5 to 10 minutes. But you see there the $3 flat price around the number 4. In fact, it's $3 each to 2, Aromatic and Dionysus. But the key is Dionysus opened at $3.60 and has been backed in to that top line equal. Mary Louise at a $6 price. Canny Rock at $6.50, stepping up in grade. Then you've got the second division, Prise de Fer with the big weight at $12. Our Nymph could be a pace influencer at $18. So in terms of betting dollars, Dionysus 3 times more money v Aromatic.
Jeepers Creepers, that's interesting in itself, because they both ran excellent races in the Counties Cup. BP did Aromatic and Dionysus, and both building nicely to the Waikato Cup here.
Look, they are, and I guess that there's first of all a clear weight difference between both of these horses. I mean, you've got Dionysus, who drops 1.5 kilos on this run, and Aromatic goes up, it drops 0.5 kilo off the back of this effort. So there's a swing in the favour of Dionysus, and I just wonder, with Dionysus coming back to a venue that he races well at, he's progressing well in terms of what he's done this campaign so far. He's won a Queen Elizabeth Cup at this venue at Te Rapa. He was second, as you mentioned, Steve, last year when things didn't go his way in the Waikato Cup. He's placed in a Wellington Cup. He just looks to be one of those horses that's tracking again in that right vein towards some of those major Cups races. So, yeah, look, I'm with him. I think he's a horse that was backable at his early price, and he potentially could be still backable now with where he currently sits.
Yeah, Dionysus, both good runs. Dionysus was good, though. But this his time of year, isn't it? If you think back to this run last year in a Waikato Cup.
Yep, and here it is, where he finished second and Aromatic third. Look, I love the fact the money's on.
You do love a money train, we know that.
He's got the 3 draw. He has been tardily away in recent starts, so it's a wee bit of a worry. But with Warren Kennedy aboard, he's going to have him there, I think. And I think the money is well placed here. So I'm very, very happy to back Dionysus to go one better this year.
Who's the winner there, by the way? The Waikato. That's a two. I've thrown it. Who's that?
Victor Vegas.
Victor Vegas, yeah. That's right. Got the wettish track that year. Well, thank you, BP, saving us, because we could have been in a bit of dead air there. Victor Vegas getting the job done. Impressively. Steve, Mary Louise is an interesting runner. What do we make of it in the Whanganui Cup? Because well-backed, threatening to do something, and its first run over ground, I guess, maybe some sort of an excuse. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, look, I looked at the Stipes report. There was nothing to come out of the Stipes report. You've got to remember Mary Louise was a 350 fave from memory in the Whanganui Cup. Like you mentioned, it was first time over ground, and they've gone out extremely hard. So it's a really tough 2,040 metre event. You see there to the 600, well over 14 lengths above open class. So they've gone really hard. She might have just felt the pinch when they really came into the home straight there off that solid tempo. I think what you have to do is just isolate that one performance and look at the overall bodywork from Mary Louise. You're getting $6 this time in. There's a lot of money to suggest that just to knock that last start performance to one side. And she has won at Te Rapa before, so which is always a good sign for a CD rater. So hard horse to assess purely on that last run, but if you look at the overall bodywork and take that that performance away, she deserves to be in the conversation at least.
Where have you got Mary Louise?
She was slightly disappointing in the Wanganui Cup, but I think that's a lovely stepping stone for her into the Waikato Cup. So
you wouldn't knock Robbie Patterson's plans. He could have been the first run over ground into the second run over ground in the Cup. Bang.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's humming along at the moment. So yeah, Mary Louise, if your quaddies and things like that, your exotics, you have to have her in there somewhere, and I will.
Yeah, okay. And what about these up-and-comers, BP? Because in a handicap like this, we need to be looking down at the lighter weights, and Canny Rock, Rock My Heart, Rejoice is all contested at a rating 75 at Te Rapa last start and ran with merit.
Yeah, look, Canny Rock, I know he's been a heartbreaker a number of times, but he still is running those races where I think he can be a big competitor in the race. He's drawn barrier number 1, and I think you've got to just keep trusting what Chris Wood is telling us, and that he is a very good Cups horse. He's a horse that is going to win a good race. Boy, he'd love to win this race, and that is for sure. A Waikato Cup would be really the cherry on the top for Chris with this runner. He has got it, and I know he's got a lot of tricks, a number of tricks, and that's the reason why he doesn't win as many races as he does. He certainly has to think about the winning post when it gets close, but at the same time, he is going to get a run like he is looking like the winner at some stage, you'd imagine. So for that reason, I think you've got to keep him safe. If you're playing a quaddie, if you're trying to extend it out on your quaddie tickets anywhere, I think he's a worthy saver in the race, is Canny Rock, despite him not having that winning strike rate that I'm sure many would love to prefer that he would have had with the time that he's gone round favourite and being beaten.
Got any of these up-and-comers, I'll call them, in your numbers here, Paul?
Oh, Canny Rock, he's very hard to catch.
I think your best bet, wasn't he?
Yes,
a while ago.
Yeah, so I'll jump off this time, which means he'll probably jump up.
Get on.
Yeah, so just a word of warning there. Prix de Feu.
Haven't mentioned him.
No. I don't know why. Slightly disappointing last time out, but look, it would not surprise me to see Prix de Feu in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, 58's not a massive weight for him. Steve, your final sort of summation here of a Waikato Cup?
I'm pretty keen on Dionysus. I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. You go back 12 months when he placed in this race. Since then, he's won a QE2 over Christmas, New Year at Pukekohe. He was placed in a Wellington Cup. So he's had a lot of decent form over a cup distance in the last 12 months, but he happens to carry the same weight as what he carried last year with 53, and that's with the presence of Prix de Feu, who I'm happy to take a knock against with 58 over 2-4, and that's why you're getting double-figure quotes. So I'll lean with Dionysus, and I just feel he was one run shorter than what Aromatic was when they last clashed at Pukekohe. He was only third up, where Aromatic had that solid base 4 or 5 starts into this preparation. So now he's 4th up. He's had a couple runs over ground. That's why I'm leaning towards Dionysus.
Paulie?
Love Dionysus. On top for mine with Mary Louise in there as well, but Dionysus for mine.
We might be making this a trifecta, BP, in the Waikato Cup.
Yeah, look, I think the kilo swinging the weights towards him is a big one over his biggest danger in the race in Aromatic. So, yep, liking Dionysus. I thought the 370 was really good shopping early around him. Aromatic, big respect. And look, I think Canny Rock and also Mary Louise, if you're looking to try and play savers for your quaddies, they're the obvious ones that you want to be saving on. El Nymph will be a horse who will be in front, who will be a horse that will try and set up a genuine tempo in the race. It was a solid effort last time to the races. Maybe it was looking for a shower of rain, but at least you know the race should be run at a genuine tempo, which should give every horse their opportunity.
Okay, thank you, BP. Look, before we get to the next race, the J Swap, I had a chance during the week to catch up with Luke Kemmies from BGP with an eye to the Karaka Million, which is only 6 weeks away. With the exciting news that Ellerslie is officially back in business. We're only 6 weeks out from a Karaka Million. And one man and one group that has become synonymous with that night is Luke Kemmies from BGP. Good morning, Luke. He joins us now. How are you?
Yeah, really well. Starting to get pretty excited about what we've got coming up on the 27th of January, as I'm sure you are, Thad.
I could be excited / nervous. Obviously, the BG Punters Club is back in business. How is that pool tracking and how can customers or viewers get involved?
Yeah, we've got $85,000 in there at the moment, and we've already had a bet, which I'm sure that we'll talk about shortly as well, and I'm sure that you've had a good look at, but you're willing to take us on. So $85,000 in there at the moment, and people that get involved before Christmas have a chance to double their stake as well. So put $20 in via your TAB account and you've got the chance to have that doubled up. 10 people will win. So I'd say by the time we get to the 27th of January, we're going to have a big old pot to play with.
Oh, there's some big numbers going around. So you're saying, look, if we have a bet before Christmas Day, so 11:59 on Christmas Eve, you could have your stake doubled. Is that right?
Yeah, so make sure that you do that through your TAB account, and it's got to be $20 or more, and then 10 people will be drawn out and they'll be reached out to explain that they've won a double up of their investment or stake, whatever term we should be thinking about using.
Yeah, and there's been some big investments already. There's been some four-figure investments, so that'd be pretty nice to get something like that doubled up.
Yeah, well, geez, let's better find out who that is so they don't come after me.
They're very brave. No, look, it's a massive night for you guys. There's some massive numbers that get thrown around. There's some huge bets. What do we think that pot size might get to? Are you going to make any early predictions?
I've got 20,000 people in mind that would love to have following along from all over New Zealand, and then I'm thinking we might be able to sit around that $1.5 million mark. We cracked the $1 million mark last year, so if we can get to the 1.5, gee, that would be pretty insane.
It would be nervous times around here, I can tell you. Look, in saying that, you've actually already had a bet as well, and a futures bet at that. It's a stable I haven't heard of, and I don't think they've had much success in a Karaka Million.
Yeah, look, we found one that we thought might sneak under the radar of the bookies. $21 for Cool and Fast. We've put a lazy $50,000 on as a futures bet. Happy to take it on, and we'll take you on and have a crack early. Betting to win $1 million in profit. That would be a dream to see that horse line up in the Karaka Million and roll them as well. Hopefully, with this man on board, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but the excitement is certainly there already.
Yeah, look, Cool and Fast trialled up well. The full brother to a former Karaka Million winner and Cool Azabeel as well. So the breeding's certainly there. You got the right stable. It'd be just nice to see it make the race now. So Cool Azabeel, if you want to get part of that $1 million bet at $21, now $14, the only way you can do that is to get online and get involved in the BGP Punters Club. It's a great big night for you, Luke. I mean, you've really made it your own in a lot of respects. It must mean a lot to the community and yourself.
Yeah, it's really special to have been a part of, I guess, the re-energisation, if that's even a word, of the Karaka Million. And now with just so much positivity around racing, I'd suggest if you haven't been before, get a ticket and get along, even if it's not our event. If you can't make it, make sure you are watching from home, because this is a premium night of racing. There's going to be plenty of hype before we get to the 27th. But I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, Thad. I love that day, and I cannot wait to get on course.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, if you haven't been, make sure you get there. Okay, Luke, we'll have an excellent Christmas. Good luck. Get onto the TAB website. Get involved in the BGP Punters Club. If you get involved before Christmas Day, you go into a draw to have that stake doubled. 10 people will be winners there. Thanks, Luke. Have a great Christmas and good luck come the 27th of January.
I'm sure you don't mean that, Thad, but I mean it. Have a good Christmas, and to all the watchers and viewers out there, enjoy your Christmas and be safe and punt well and beat up the bookies.
Thanks for Luke's time there. BGP Punters Club, they will get that north of 7 figures. I've no doubt about that. So
you boys are in for a hiding.
What do you mean, you boys? Yeah.
Oh, I'm with the BGP, mate.
Yeah, you are. You're a BGP man through and through. It's going to be a big night, whatever happens, come Karaka Million. And great to see Ellerslie back in action, gentlemen. No doubt about that. Okay, we better push on. Race number 4 on the card is the Group 3J Swap Sprint, Steve, and brings together a competitive field.
Your best bet runner happens to be the favourite, Romancing the Moon. 380 we posted on Wednesday, been backed into 330. In front of the stablemate Incognito at 550. Arish drawn the ace at a $6 quote. Our Alley Cat top weight with Opie Boss on the board at $8. Jodlin Gal at $10, double figures with Wessex. Wessex 11 to 10. Wolverine at $12. Tavere loves the course at a $15 price, and best of the rest is Zecora, second up this preparation for the Rogers at $18. So look, overall summary, there's been a sprinkle of money, but clearly the best bet runner sits with the fave number 3 and Romancing the Moon.
Okay, BP, probably the most obvious form reference is the Counties Bowl here. With Romancing the Moon running a very good race, I would suggest over a distance short of his best, but or her best rather, 1400 will suit.
Yeah, well, a Group 1 winner over 1,600 metres is Romancing the Moon, of course, and a big skew off on that occasion. But look, this is a good reference to take in, isn't it? As you said, running into a placing over 1,100 metres and doing all her best work late here. Also, big respect to the horse who runs fourth in this race too, Dodling Gal, who's only just nabbed on the line by Romancing the Moon. Look, there's a lot to like about her prospects heading into this race. I was very keen on her when she went into that race at Hawke's Bay, which of course she was beaten by our Alley Cat at stakes level, where Opie Bossum was aboard that runner. Look, it's got 59 kilos, our Alley Cat, but I just wonder with the way that that race didn't pan out, that she dwelt at the start. She was a horse, I think if she'd found that front position where she looked to be the likely leader, it was a race that looked well set up for her, and she just bombed the start. She actually did really well to finish into 6th position, I thought, when beaten around 5 lengths in that race in what was the Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders behind Campionessa. She's drawn wide, but if she can jump with them and put herself in a position where we know when she's at her best, she's up on speed, she will be a danger to the favourite, but she does have to concede weight to Romancing the Moon.
You had a bit of a soft spot for our Alley Cat, Paul, in the race, even with the sticky barrier?
Yeah, and that is a negative, unfortunately. And look, and this market is dominated by... Surprise, surprise.
Guess so.
Tiako.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's always fraught with danger when you try and look for something outside of the Walker Burgesson team when they're up, the top 3 runners are coming out of their stable. But I really do like the look of our Alley Cat. Look, I know she has to carry the 59 and she's got a tricky gait. But Opie Bossum,
yeah,
big positive there. There was a good win at Hastings, a couple of starts back. But I thought the run in the Thoroughbred Breeders was very, very good leading into this, and behind the likes of Campionessa and Farraleone. And also the run, when was it? 3 months back at Ruakaka, behind Pearl of Alsace and El Vencedor. So that form's been frank for mine, and I think she's the value runner in the race. So yeah, for mine, I'm having a little go against Tiako here, and I'm on our Alley Cat.
It's a recipe fraught with danger. Let's have a look at another Tiako runner, Steve Incognito, finishing 3rd here at Pukekohe.
Yeah, this was 3rd in the listed 1,500 metre race at Puki, as you mentioned, Thaddeus. The form has really been frank. They've gone out extremely hard to the 653 and change. They've come home 35, almost flat. Habana was the eventual winner in this race, came off heels there, and you see in the Cambridge stud colours. Cognito's coming right down the outer part of the track. As we say, we finished 3rd there around Cognito. But you look at the form around it, Habana comes out and runs 5th in a Group 1. El Vencedor, who gets run over late there, setting off a very solid tempo, has been a subsequent Group 3 winner at Te Rapa. And also back in the field, you had Terra Matika and also Malt Time. So that form in that race in general has really stacked up and has become very, very strong in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So look, he has drawn wide, Cognito, but I think that's almost a positive rather than negative. I'd hate to see this horse draw a 1, 2 or 3 because purely he has low tactical speed, so he's going to get back to the last third. But because he's drawn wide, there's no doubt around Cognito that the jockey will be able to blend in the race when he wants to. So look, there's going to be some heat in the first furlong or two. You look at the pace, you've got Kiva Hahn in the race, Wessex, one of those two will have to give up the lead, but which one will be remains to be seen. You talk about our Alley Cat, drawn wide gate, but I think that's negated with Opie Boss, and he'll look to put this horse in the race at some stage. So there's going to be some heat, BP, which may suit it up for all runners, in particular the second half of the field.
Yeah, I mean, that heat comes from, as you said, Kiva Hahn and Wessex are horses that really do like to rip along. Wessex is an interesting runner in this race, actually. Look, the good track form's not there, but fresh up. I mean, it's a rocket first up. Is this horse. We've seen the runner win a Rotorua Stakes, for instance, first up. Now, I can know, different part of the season, different track conditions, all those sort of reasons are against it, but can run and does have a good gate jockey aboard in Sam Spratt doing the riding on that runner. So, look, can be a chance in the race, Wessex. But Oh, look, overall, I keep coming back to Romancing the Moon because maybe it is set up for it. Maybe there's that prospect of really good pressure, being able to get into a position where the horse can get the smother in the race, and that could really pave the way for the horse sitting off that pressure and releasing late.
I want to come back to you, Pops, for this replay because you'll remember this race fondly. Arish second up into this, and I think got beaten by a pretty good one here.
Yes, Waitak. Yeah, you're right. Very fond memories. Look, Kiva Han is a runner. Look, again, it's in this race, is going to be one of those horses that will be the runner-up on speed. Arish has come back really nicely with a couple of runs. Has drawn low. Again, you'd imagine that Arish will be just happy to camp off that pressure that's surrounding the horse. And I just like the way that she's come back. It's part of a Walker Burgesson assault on the race when you can see that horse is at $6 drawn low. Cognito, a runner that's bringing good form, not just this season, but even from last season. Romancing the Moon, they really do have a stranglehold on the race, and then it's down to Opie, who's not on any of those horses, but of course on a rival runner, but a horse he knows well that have been our Alley Cat because he won on that runner 2 starts ago at stakes level at Hawke's Bay. Sets up for a good race. They should run quickly, and it should mean that horses that are looking for pressure off speed, it plays into their hands if they can get that right suck run into the race.
Okay, Paulie, final thoughts here in the J-Swaps front. You're betting against Tiakau, so that's going to be interesting.
Yep, I'm going with our Alley Cat. I like the fact that Opie, but I've been here many Saturdays while you guys have been working, and I remember quite vividly the likes of a James McDonald who was drawn 13-14 and then getting across to sit just outside the lead or in the 1-1 before they get to the turn. And you guys just going, how does he do that? And Opie Bosson does this exactly the same thing. And I'm expecting him to do exactly the same thing here, get our Alley Cat across without spending too much and having her right in the race at the end. So I'm happy to take the $8 at the moment. In fact, we may get a wee bit more come Saturday just because we've got that dominant Tiakau conglomerate up top.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Pops, in the J-Swap sprint. Who have you got on top? How do we bet the race?
Yeah, look, I think our Alley Cat's definitely a value play in the race. I think she sits at a price where she can be specced at the odds at $8. Definitely keen to try and find a power play with maybe both those horses to run top 4, our Alley Cat and also Romancing the Moon. I think that would be a nice little power play option around both of those horses. Look, to identify a horse I do like on top, I do like Romancing the Moon. I think the map looks really good for the horse. I think the setup around the race looks ideal for her and off the back of a really good Counties Cup, Counties Bowl run. So Romancing the Moon and our Alley Cat are the 2 horses I'll be looking to have something on.
Who was blessed with the overs in the last 7 days? Let's have a look at the market movers, the biggest market movers of the week and how they fared. Sinbin, 380 into 230. Second, a little bit unlucky too. Is that so? 13 into $6.50. Got the chocolates. Is that so in the sprint? Beating Seamus, I should say, who's right on target for a Telegraph. Magnifique, he's a decent go. 5 into even money and got the chocolates. Didn't just get the chocolates, took the chocolates with it, ran away. And we don't know where it's gone, so we'd expect seeing that and some big cups, Magnifique in the next wee while. Rua Rocks on the map, 14 into $5, could only manage 7th. Fabulous Girl in race number 9 was 17 into $6.56. So Rotorua on Sunday. Mad Max, following that wherever it goes, $3.50 into $1.85. I think will benefit with that first up run. Wren from the same stable. How you like that, Paulie?
Wow.
Sure sort of numbers. 21. That's Cromwell-esque. 21 into $7 first. And Stylish Officer to finish us off at Rotorua, 13 into $7 and managed first. So Overs Gods reasonably happy and blessing punters with a few bit of mana from heaven in a few instances in the last 7 days. We want to head to Trentham, gentlemen. Want to have one race we want to have a look at there, and that is going to be the Eulogy Stakes, Steves, but looks like blue sky there. Looks beautiful. Weather and track for Trentham, please.
Not sure that's live pictures, Thaddeus, but soft 6 currently, rail out 6 metres. You rewind the clock 7 days. You had the TAB Classic meeting when the rail was in the true position. So it's out 6 metres for Saturday. I think that's just through a little bit of wear and tear and also to protect the track. It's a very busy period for Trentham in the next month or so, but look, the biggest query is the rain that's forecast, and not so much today, but in particular on race day. So look, I don't think it will be any better than the soft 6, so I'd be looking at soft form references when looking at the overall card tomorrow.
Okay, it's a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is, as they say. Race number 7 on the card, I believe, is the Eulogy Stakes Group 3 for the 3-year-old fillies, Stephen. Gee, this is a competitive lineup.
She certainly is. Headed by Shanti Lace at $5 and Vivacious, $5 each of 2. In terms of dollars invested, Vivacious holds 3 times more money than Shanti Lace, and that's why there's been a firm around the 11. The original quote was $7, coming 2 full points to 5. Still bang on at 6.5. Chica Mojito comes out of the 1,000 guineas at a $7 price. Mezzacata at 7.5 with Cyclone. Also has been a notable firmer. Race Ace at $11, still the Maidener. New Millennium at $11, and there's second division headed by the Te Akau Train Galloper, and My Lips are sealed at a $21 price from the original quote of 16. So a couple of firmers there, but best lead I can give is around number 11, Vivacious, 7 into 5.
Yeah, okay, Vivacious best back to this stage, but the filly joint head of this market is Shanti Lace, BP. Not well beaten by the winner here, Zab Manzoor, but just keeps running good, honest races.
Look, she does. I mean, this horse has had a busy preparation, and she just keeps on stepping up and doing the business. When you consider that she was winning a stakes race, what was it, the early part of June, and that was a Castletown Stakes. She's then come back and she's been able to win a Whanganui Guineas against the boys, continued to press on through that spring period where she was placed, of course, in a Gold Trail Stakes. She's had a number of good runs in good races, and the prospect of a little bit of rain is certainly on her side, I would have thought, with Shanti Lace. Very good run, as you mentioned, in that race where there's margins, yes, between her and the winner. Look, the winner could be exceptionally good. We just don't know how good that horse might be in Zab Manzoor. There's a really good chitter-chatter around his talent, and leading up to that, there was a high expectation, and he's now proven it. So I think she's a bet at $5. If you're betting on some rain happening and that track's in that 5 or 6 bracket already, and if there's a little bit chance of it pushing out, well, I think that only enhances her chances, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no doubt it enhances her chances. This 1,000 guineas, I mean, we've run on a hard track, but Chica Mojito and Shanti Lace coming out of that 1,000 guineas, Paul, but the run from Chica Mojito quite good here, but the rain with Shanti Lace will benefit, as BP mentions.
Look, as we look out the window live on Friday morning, there are some very, very dark clouds about. So if that rain does arrive at any stage today or tomorrow, then Chantilly Lace, that $5 looks super, super value. As you say, I thought that was it was a fairly good run in the 1,000 guineas. I know she finished back, but was on a track that really didn't suit her against some super classy fillies.
Red hot field, crop
exactly.
Fillies. Yeah.
So she doesn't meet the likes of Impenda Bell or Molly Bloom here. And if she gets those conditions to suit, and Lily Sutherland, as we saw with that ride earlier on in the program, she is going very, very well. So Chantilly Lace, I think, is a standout.
Yeah, okay. What about Chica Mojito's run, Steve? I know you've had a bit of a soft spot. There was a nice run in the 1,000 guineas.
She comes out of the best form references in terms of the fillies in the last month or two, the 1,000 guineas, which we saw footage there, but also the start prior to that in the soliloquy. She's just copped a couple of bad draws in her last 2 starts in those feature races where they've just had to go back, take their medicine. She has drawn a gate here. Courtney Barnes aboard. Look, I don't think she's a filly you want to hustle out of the machine, but if she can sit somewhere no worse in midfield, you go back to that 1,000 guineas. There was only 2 horses to break 12 seconds for the last furlong. The winner, Molly Bloom, and Chica Mojito. I've had a lot of time for Chica, and I wouldn't be surprised if she ran above betting expectation on Saturday.
Okay, well, what about this next horse? Because there's plenty of money on Vivacious, Steve. How does it stack up? Because it's coming out of Maiden and taking on some sort of graded fillies here.
It was a booming ride from Opie Bosson this day. What you didn't see, had drawn a sticky gate, and he managed to come across after the first furlong or 2 and get in a beautiful spot, a sweet spot. And you see it just came off heels at the last 200 and got the better of its rivals, Vivacious. On numbers, well, nothing to be rushing to the tote to punt this horse on. You see there, the class rating was bang on par. The race shape overall kind of suited all runners, depending where you were. Look, when you weigh at that performance to the other 1,400 metre races on the day, it ranked number 2, but also still 2 lengths inferior to the Weapon Maiden 1400. So, look, on numbers, as I say, I think you just got to take the trust on the eye, the stable, and the early money to indicate this horse has a lot of upside. It's beautifully bred by Done Deal. As we say, they're all fillies, but she's got a lot of scope to go 16 and beyond this season, Vivacious. So follow the train. There is one horse I just want to touch on, is the Cyclone. We've seen a little bit of money, 10 into 7. You go back to 2 starts ago around Cyclone, I bet a horse called Charmer and also Chica Mojito on an off-track at Ottawa Park. Last start at Trentham, it was a fast run down the chute, or not down the chute, but took a slight bend, 1400 metre race, and it found itself last on the rail. It was just a hopeless position on the map. But look, I'd be leaning towards Cyclone as a 1/3 potential play, and I'm following the early money.
Okay, that's interesting. What about Still Bang On, BP? Because this run behind Rudyard at Pukekohe has merit.
Look, Still Bang On's a horse who was progressing well through those maiden races, and then took on a 65 grade where the horses come from a million miles off them, and it's got within a length and a half off them. It has this runner. So you're looking at the horse who's right out wide here, who ends up finishing into 6th position. So it's a big run, and it's a horse that has, as I said, done a super job. It actually had won a race, and then of course it lost it as well. It is Still Bang On. So look, it's had a busy season, and it's just one of those runners that's certainly having a shot at a good race now in terms of the Eulogy, and a horse who's bringing that good form through maiden races in that 65 effort there. So look, I think I'm with Stephen around those 2 horses he mentioned actually. I think Cyclone and Chica Mojito are both very good chances in the race. I think Cyclone's form out of that Rotorua race is a big respect, and a little bit like the 3-year-old filly form that we keep mentioning, and that being the Soliloquy Stakes with Chica Mojito. It was a horse who was beaten in that race. We've already seen Glamour Tycoon, again, who's been able to come out of that and use that as a form reference and come out and be a stakes performer in the O'Leary Stakes. So Chica Mojito was good in the 1,000 guineas. And then, if you like the Glamour Tycoon reference, you can branch off it again with Race Ace, who was huge when finishing into 2nd position. Yes, it comes into this race as a maiden galloper, but that was an enormous run in the O'Leary. So a lot of good chances. I think this is quite an even field. It's what we see in behind, but I'm going to still come back to my original selection. I think Shanti Lace has been a horse who's been up against the better horses right from the get-go, right back from June, you could say, when a horse who was able to win a Castletown, then win a Whanganui Guineas, and been very good this campaign. And the prospect of a little bit of rain might just bring her into it further as well. So I'm happy to go with Shanti Lace.
We've mentioned 3/4 of the field here, Paulie. Which way are you going?
Well, look at the market. There are what? The 6 runners priced from $5 to $7. So it's just a wide, well, it seems like a wide open race. I don't think it is. I think Chantilly Lace is the one that we get on, and we get on now. Look, I hate betting on weather, but I don't think this track is going to improve too much over the next 24 hours. So
You're relying so much on the track, because I reckon she was the lay of the day on a decent track against that lot.
Yeah.
She's kind of hit a level. In fact, she's slightly regressed in her last 2 starts. He was okay run at Otaki. I wanted to layer that day as well from the back of the field, but there was a big margin from 1st to 2nd. It was a bunch finish in behind the Roger James galloper, and they rated okay that day overall. So those horses that were beaten 4 or 5 lengths were well below the standard. So, but the wet track is also a leveller, and she's been there, done that.
Well, you quite like Cyclone then?
Yeah, Cyclone and Chica Mojito. I think Chica Mojito from the draw can sit in a more forward position, and Cyclone has a little bit of form around on the off track as well, so no knock there.
Okay, well, Steve's suggesting it's wide open. The boys like Shanti Lace with a wet track in this year's Eulogy Stakes. Oh, yeah. 4 play time on the leg up. Your chance to win a $100 4-leg multi-bet on our 4 good things of the weekend. Not always good things, because last week, unfortunately, we didn't have a winner, but...
only 1 leg fell over last week.
Yeah, well, we didn't even mention that. I've had an outstanding strike rate. If we were talking overall strike rate, let's move on. Anyway, 4 play this week. BP, what are you going for your best of the weekend, best good thing of the weekend?
I thought Pearl of Alsace 130. It was a price that looks backable with the good draw. We spoke highly about the 1 and the 2 in that race, so Pearl of Alsace top 3 130 will do me.
Paulie?
I'm going to go our Alley Cat top 4 at $2.10. Look, I know we're betting against their Tiakau stable. I think she's a top 4 chance.
Yeah, okay, Steve, where have you gone?
The early proceedings at Te Rapa are ripping, but small field, the 3-year-old 1,200 metres. I'm going with the filly Quintessa to run a race, top 2 at $1.70. Yes, the race has Tokyo Tycoon, but I think Quintessa is a really, really good filly in the making. So top 2, $1.70.
I've gone to Rapa race 8, the Cup, the Waikato Cup, Dionysus, top 3 at $1.40. That $100 multi could return $550. Head to the TAB Facebook page, interact with the leg up question this week. It's your favourite Waikato Cup winner, and you could be in with a chance to win that $100 bonus bet multi. Okay, boys, best bet time, but before we have a look forward, let's have a look back at how we did last week.
I set my bet through on Wednesday, team, and it was Lupo Solitario when I saw the $2.50.
At the 100 metres, they draw clear to fight out the Bone Crusher. It's Lupo Solitario, Orchestral's coming after him. They go towards the line. Whoa, gee, that's close. There is a nostril in it, and it will favour Lupo Solitario.
I'm going to go to Pukekohe, race 3 there, and one of the unluckiest runners last time out, Wallen.
Here comes Wallen out after it. Out wide of Final Purchase. It's still the patron saint, Wallen, taking his time to get there. He's slowly getting there now, though. And Wallen will go on and score a well-deserved win.
Yeah, I'll go to the lucky last at Pukekohe, the rating 65, 1,500. Nancy, she wrote.
Big in the yip in front. Linjong Ziong Feng is dead set, flying at the line. Whoa, gee, that's close. Linjong Ziong Feng in a photo with Amber Wright, and right with them were Big in the Yip and Desert Mystic, and a great finish to the last. Then followed over next by Pal Tong, then came a Mersey Beat, followed by Fabulous Gal, Don Paulie, Kentucky Rose, Jafira, Kaidu's Pride, Bella Waters. Nancy, she wrote, was back with her arm, a rich girl back near the tail of the field.
Well, she scratched.
Wake me up. Nancy, she wrote.
She's a good filly. I don't know what happened that day. I do want to say my bonus bet and foreplay both won.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Well, 2 from 3 in the best bets. Let's make it 3 from 3. Pops, where have you gone?
I've gone to Invercargill, and I've gone for a horse that I know nothing about. They say they're not very good, but I wouldn't know anything about them. That is a hangover. I'm going to go with the hangover in race number 2 on the program. Gee, this horse was really good. I tell you what, they didn't miss it when it won at Gore. They did not miss it on that occasion. It absolutely cleaned them up. And then next time to the races, of course, they went to Cup Day and went a super race. I thought it was a brilliant run to finish into second position over 1,200 metres. A sticky barrier draw is potentially why you're getting the price you are. So happy to take the risk on the barrier draw on what looks to be a really nice horse. The hangover race 2 out of Ascot Park.
Paulie, where have you landed? Bearing in mind we're running shorter time here, best bet, give it to us.
Right. I think you're going to bounce back, so I'm heading to the Waikato Cup, and I love the look of Dionysus. Love the fact the money's on. Look, Warren Kennedy on board. There are just so many good things to say about this runner. I think we go one better than last year.
BP's climbing, but you're still 45% in front. Stephen, your best bet of the weekend, please.
I'll go to the J-Swap Sprint at Group 3, the 1,400 metre event, Romancing the Moon. She's favourite at the moment. She's been well played early doors. She bounces out of the right race, the Counties Bowl, which was very strong on the clock. She's drawn a little bit of a sticky gate, but I think with that early tempo underneath her, she can find a slot in the first 4 or 5. She's the horse to beat, Romancing the Moon.
Okay, let's go 3 from 3, boys. Bonus back time. We've got promos all this weekend. I think we've got some bonus back runners as well. BP's in Preview, race 3 at Te Rapa. Paulie's gone Tokyo Tycoon. We haven't had a chance to touch on that race. Tokyo Tycoon against Quintessa. Race 1 at Trentham for Steve Matateri. And I've got the Tiakau runner in race 5 at Te Rapa, Bellamio. Paulie, we've got promos. It's Grand Tour Day, isn't it? So we've got extra promos as well.
Yep, that's right. Te Rapa, the races 1 to 6 will be bonus back races this Saturday, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. You guys pretty much know what goes on there. Yep. And then, of course, the first 4 races at Trentham, Invercargill and Caulfield.
Lovely. Get to the TAB website, I should say, to check out all the T's and C's around the bonus back. Righto, Pops. That's us for another week. I'm sure you're on course tomorrow at Te Rapa.
Certainly will be. Yeah, big team on track, so can't wait for it. And there'll be a massive crowd. This is the day that everyone around the Waikato region loves to get to. So, yep, we'll bring you all the coverage from about 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, bring the heat, BP, as you always do. Thank you, gentlemen, for your efforts, as always.
Thank you, Thad. Yep.
See you in 7 days' time.
Indeed.
And we'll see you in 7 days' time on the League Up. Thanks for joining us.